Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the Fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another beer review. Good to see you guys again. I realize I have not been doing very much as far as beer reviews go. I think I mentioned it when the year started. Baseball has started and I'm coaching both my kids, and it has been crazy town the last 3.5 weeks. I just have not had time to do it. So it's kind of been a nice break from reviewing beer, to be honest. It's rad being able to get back to baseball, but I've got some beers that I want to review. I'm so far behind, and some people sent some beers, and I gotta get back to it. So here we are, we're doing late night weekday reviews. This hasn't happened in a long time, but figured I would do these just to get them out of the way and hopefully enjoy some awesome beer. So we're gonna review a Treehouse beer first. Look at us drinking Treehouse again like it's 2016. And this one is a beer I've been wanting to try forever, and it is Present Moment. That label is fantastic. Treehouse brewed this I think it was 3 years ago. And I remember watching Darwin's review of this, and he absolutely lost his mind over it. It's a I think it's 5.4%. Does it not say? This is the first time ever. Treehouse, how dare you? What are you doing? It doesn't say the ABV. I think it's 5.4%. It's a pale ale. And I remember him losing his mind over it, but this was 3 years ago. So I think I want to say when he drank this, he was like, this is the best pale ale I ever had. It's way better than Zombie Dust, and way better. Like, he was talking about beers that were awesome back then. And when they re-released this, I was texting with Nathan. I was like, dude, this is like a must-have beer of mine. And thankfully, my buddy Leo texted me. He was like, hey, I was at Treehouse today and got some beer. Would you like some? And I said, yes, I would. So we finally get to try this. I think this is all Southern Hemisphere hopped. Don't know the hops though. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I'm guaranteeing this beer will probably be a letdown, just because like I said, this is a beer that I've always wanted to try, and they haven't brewed it in 3 years. I figured they were never gonna brew it again, and it's back. But beer has changed in the last 3 years, so what this used to be might not be what it still is, if that makes any sense. But let's check it out. I can't believe the ABV is not on that label. That is so crazy to me. Usually I rip people for doing that, and you know what? I'm gonna give Treehouse a pass because I love them. But let's get our shit together and put the ABV on the label. I love that label. I can smell this beer. So yeah, it's that kind of glowing tangerine color. It's got a solid almost 2 finger of super fluffy head. It looks absolutely fantastic in that Treehouse glassware. Everything always looks better in proper glassware, right? So I've said it every time they've brewed a pale ale. Lights On is my favorite pale ale that Treehouse does. One of my favorite pale ales, period. What other pale ales have they had? There's Lights On. They did, I think Tornado was a pale ale. Pride and Purpose was a good pale ale. Lights On has always kind of been the bar setter as far as pale ales for me. So let's shove our nose in this one. Ooh, this immediately, that juicy fruit kind of gum thing that I always used to get from Treehouse immediately jumps out. This is crazy tropical fruity. It's like candied pineapples. There's some peachiness in there. That yeasty bubblegum thing though is so present in this beer. This smell, I mean, 5.4%, the nose of this is a banger. It's so explosively tropical. Very juicy smelling, like think fruit juice or like smoothie. But that, I mean, the last couple cans of green I had during the Super Bowl, Curiosity 44 that we reviewed was the last Treehouse beer. That yeasty kind of bubblegum thing, I feel like is back with their beer. This smell, I mean, this doesn't smell, if you gave this to me blind, there's no way I would think this was a 5.5% beer. This smells like a 6.5, 7% kind of IPA from them. It smells fucking awesome. So let's go and taste it. Leo, cheers. Thank you, sir. And cheers to late night week reviews. So very first impression from taking a sip of that, the nose is much more intense than the actual flavor of this beer. The nose is crazy intense, bubblegummy, tropical fruity, pineapple-y. This almost drinks like people might get mad at me for saying this. It's so soft, it almost reminds me of one of their Eureka beers. There's a good amount of bitterness that's kind of lingering on my tongue. You get a good pop of tropical fruitiness up front, but it kind of, after that, I don't want to say it falls flat, but it just doesn't continue on. The way this beer smells, it doesn't taste anything like it smells. The nose of this is fucking amazing. It is so explosively, like I said, tropical, fruity, juicy, that awesome yeasty bubblegum thing. The flavor of this, I wish the flavor of this carried over from what the nose smells like. This is still really good though. It's funny too, because back then, I think Darwin was talking about like how chewy it was. The mouthfeel of this, I mean, when you think of all the other beers that we've had since 2015, I don't think this is a chewy beer. It's on the thinner side, but again, it's a 5% pale ale. You're not expecting to chew on it. I would imagine the mouthfeel of this back then was probably mind-blowing. That would make sense, especially when you're comparing it to things like Zombie Dust. This is a super easy drinker. It's so soft. I like the tropical fruit notes that carry over from the nose. I like the pineapple. There's like this kind of guava, and again, that yeasty kind of bubblegum thing. The taste is so much less than the nose. The nose is explosive, but the taste isn't. Still, when you're comparing it to other 5% beers, this is probably better than most of them. So for what it is, it's fantastic. I want to say Darwin gave this 100 out of 100. It's nowhere near that, but again, I didn't expect it to be. That was a review that was from 3 years ago. It'll be fun to kind of go back. Even as I'm talking more and this is warm, there's like this awesome, like citrusy bitterness that's sitting on my tongue, but there's not like a lot of flavor from that. It just kind of tastes like you bit into some sort of citrus peel to peel it, but there's not like a pronounced orange or like tangerine kind of flavor from that. It's just like a acidic kind of citrus bitterness that's on the finish of that. Is this an A beer for me? Yeah, this is a low A beer for me. This is like 91, 92. I think I much prefer Lights On to this. I'd have to drink Lights On again. I haven't had it in a while, but this is awesome. I'm sure, like I said, it's been 3 years since they brewed it. If they brew this again and get this in the normal rotation, I'm sure they could dial this back into whatever it was. Yeah, I'm gonna go 92. Good stuff, and I love that label art. So that's Present Moment from Treehouse. If you guys have had it, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you very soon. Cheers.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the Fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.